listening to RTI Audio, powered by Rocky Top Insider. This is Pancakes and Bacon with VFL, Kyler Kerbyson, and Reed Bacon.
Hello, Vol Nation. Welcome to another episode of Pancakes and Bacon. I'm your host, as always, Kyler Kerbyson, joined with Reed Bacon. Got a good one. Vols won, so that's always good to see. We're gonna look at the week of college football. We're gonna look at some SEC stuff, look at the game, and also Florida coming up. But first, if you guys are watching, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. If you're just listening, rate, review, download, re-download, follow us on all those listening platforms. Also follow us on social media. Everything is in the description below. So before we jump into everything, Reed, how are we doing, bud?
Kyler, 3 weeks in a row I've got on this podcast, and I'm pissed off. Okay. I started this I saw a tweet earlier this week from a Titans media member that was like showing a map, and I thought it was just of how bad the TV ratings were for West and East Tennessee. And I was like, yeah, like obviously the team's not very good. There's probably a lot of just average fans that will probably tune in to watch the Titans, or they probably just watch the Titans because they're on TV. There's probably not that many, like myself, diehard Titan fans. I don't think much about it. And then last night, I get in bed late, and I'm like, you know what? Like, what channel and what time is the Titans game tomorrow? And so I start jumping ahead in the guide on YouTube TV, and I'm like, Fox is showing the Bears and Vikings. I'm like, okay, so we're CBS tomorrow. I go to CBS, and it says Buccaneers Bills, and I'm like, no way. No, like this is wrong. So then today, Megan and I, after Mass, are eating, and I'm like pulling up YouTube TV app and my parents' Xfinity Stream app, and I'm like, something's got to be amiss here. No Titans game on. And I have made comments as of late. I don't even know if I did it on the podcast, but I remember specifically talking to two different people. I'm like, yeah, the Titans are really bad this year, so I don't emotionally watch them, but I still watch them. They're still on, and I still like to have them on to watch Cam Ward, hear the background noise. Dude, we are 2.5 hours away from the game, and it is not on TV. And I'm just like, I was not doing well after we finished eating. I couldn't find it. I'm trying to find illegal streams. I'm trying to find different stuff on YouTube. And then I'm like watching a 6-minute preview of Sunday NFL Ticket, and then it cuts off. So that almost makes it worse. I'm like, I'm not paying for Sunday NFL Ticket or any more streaming services when I live 2.5 hours away. Not pumped.
He's pissed.
Dude,
you just caught up. I mean, you just caught up to everybody else over the past week, just getting pissed off at YouTube TV and ESPN.
Well, see, but I have YouTube TV, and it never affected me like it affected other people because I just use my parents' Xfinity Stream app, and I just would AirPlay it up to the TV. So I never missed a game of any of this stuff. But when I did log on Friday on YouTube, or I sat down, had just gotten home late night, I turn on, it says Louisville and Clemson. I'm like, oh, that's ESPN. Oh, we're back. And I was like, I didn't hear about this at all. But this weekend, and I'll get to it, it was very much like Thursday, Friday, Saturday were very much in a blender, man. Like I was go, because our boy Logan got married this weekend. So Logan Lacey tied the knot, so Logan through me, and then you and Logan became good pals on the bachelor party.
That's right.
So it was like Thursday night we had the rehearsal dinner, and then Friday I had a couple jobs in the morning, and then I rushed to Willow Creek to play golf, and because we had multiple groups playing. And then the next thing I know, I'm like, oh, so maybe I missed it today. The YouTube TV and ESPN came back. I get on Twitter, and it was like 26 minutes ago the announcement was made. I was like, wow, like this is pretty crazy. So, anyways, I just never in my life, I am 34 years old, and never in my life have I not been able to watch a Tennessee Titans game on TV. Now, granted, I did live in Nashville for multiple shows.
Still, don't say granted. You're in Knoxville. That is it is ridiculous.
Even when I was in Memphis for college, I didn't miss a Titans game. It was on down there, and it's just crazy. But anyways, it's been a good weekend. Like I said, Logan got married, so that was great. It was awesome to see that. You know, I've met him when he was 16, so I've known him for, I guess Logan's close to 30 now, about 30 now. So that was really cool to see. I've watched him grow up. I actually played really good golf, which was a shock, but that was fun and cool. And then other than that, I did actually get to randomly watch a good amount of games because the wedding ceremony started at 4. Tennessee was at 4:15. But that day leading up, all the groomsmen, we were all just chilling at an Airbnb close to the venue watching games.
Mm-hmm.
And after the ceremony, I'm sitting down, and it was a sit down, we're sitting down dinner, and I could have watched UT, but I wanted to watch Oklahoma, Bama. And so I had that one up for me. So I got to watch the third and fourth quarter of it, and then I came home and watched basically all of Florida and Ole Miss. I know we're going to talk about those. First off, bacon junk removal. We've got a big week coming up, which is great because we're a week out of Thanksgiving. So you're like, you let that little bit of like, hey, what are we going to do? And then I start getting texts and calls and stuff, and which is major blessing. Very thankful for the Lord on that. So reach out to us if you guys need anything. Reach out, bacon junk removal. Okay, here's the quote, and I'll shut up. I've used this quote before, but this is a Tennessee Vols podcast, and there's not
That's right.
There's not a better quote for the situation that Tennessee's in, and there's not many players that could have said this quote and had the momentum. I signed up for a 12-game fight, and I put the dog double J. That's Jawan Jennings. So listen, I might still be really bummed out about the Oklahoma game. It's just going to stick with me for a long time. Yep. I don't know if them winning yesterday makes me feel any better. I was shocked that they won, but then again, it doesn't really make me feel any better because we should have beat them, and they beat Bama, and it's great. But we got to finish strong. I don't have to finish strong. The team has to finish strong. But anyways,
right. He's like refraining from saying the we. I got you.
Well, because I'm not practicing this week. I'm not over there breaking down film. So
I know.
Anyways,
I say it too.
How's your weekend, man?
Pretty good. Same old. Watching football, doing chores, all normal stuff.
Yeah. What'd you think about the games yesterday?
Dude, I was pleasantly surprised with the college football slate. I didn't expect a lot. I was like, okay, we're playing New Mexico State. I'm not going to get a ton of entertainment out of that game. Mm-hmm. So I was hoping I could get it out of others, and they very much were. To start the day off with the South Carolina Texas A&M game was insane. Mm-hmm. I was like, Shane Beamer is here again, saving his job. That was what I thought in the first half. It's like this guy loses, and he loses in embarrassing ways, but then at the end of the year, he pulls out these victories that saves him for another year, And that would have been again. They said that he's got like 4 top 10 wins in November under his belt.
Well, I think two of those were probably 2022 when he beat us and Clemson back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
when
like
they were cheating.
He'll just like come away with these victories late in the year that actually don't help his team out, but still really good. But they didn't have enough to last. They couldn't keep up with Texas A&M. And I mean, talk about a lot of fight out of a team to come out of halftime and still have the confidence in themselves, still know that they're a better team, and be like, let's go. Like, let's take it to them. We know that we can do this, because you really have to like sell yourself on it. Hey, listen, we're good. Like, we can do this. We just keep messing up on our own. We're doing this to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing they're doing that's what we haven't seen or what we haven't prepared for. There's nothing they're doing in our one-on-ones that's like blowing any of us out of the water. It's just like, man, we're batting balls up in the air. We're making bad turnovers. And shit was just like not going their way. Like the drop catches that Texas A&M had, that like I was literally watching that game thinking about the South Carolina game in 2022. How crushed and pissed off I was after that game. And I'm thinking about the Texas A&M fans. I'm like, you guys are kind of in the same spot that we were that year. And it's like, all you got to do is win and like, you're going to be fine. And there's nothing going to be. And I mean, kudos to that team. That shows me a lot for them moving forward. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you probably can't survive that if you were to do that versus an Ohio State. But at the same time, you know how to fight. You know how to continue clawing back into games, which is, I mean, that's not a skill that everyone has.
I agree completely. I do think it's a little bit different. So this was obviously one of the games that we had on at the Airbnb, watching all the groomsmen were around watching. And, for me, I don't like Beamer. South Carolina as a whole doesn't necessarily bother me. He kind of triggers me. But I was like, I'd be pumped for them to get this win just to throw chaos in there. And I don't really like A&M. And we literally start getting dressed at halftime. And it's 30-3. And we're like, wow. Now, what I was going to say, it's a little bit different than 2022, in my opinion, for Tennessee, is this is a 12 team. That was a 4 team. This is going to be their first loss. Like, Texas A&M was fine. They were not going from 2, 3, or 4, whatever they were, to they're not going out of the playoff. They were going to keep them in there. Now, obviously, it meant that they still had to win out, so you never want to lose. But it wasn't going to be a season killer for them. But then when we all get dressed, we go to the venue, we start taking pictures, and I just have a downtime, and I pull my phone up, and we're all kind of standing around, and I'm checking scores, and I literally like double taked. I was like, no way. I was like, guys, and they're like, and I said, it is 31-30. They're like, no. I mean, it was like we were all shocked.
It was all in the third quarter too.
Shocked. And so we don't know how it happened. Obviously, I've seen a bunch of the plays. And it's funny, too, to see Marcel Reed, because I watched him when he was in NBA in high school a couple of times. And I thought he was fine, but I never thought he was anything special. I'm like, okay, he's a 3-star. That makes sense. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was committed to Ole Miss for a hot minute. And then I don't know if they pulled away or he decided he wanted to go to Texas A&M, but he went to Texas A&M, and I just never expected much. Then I've watched him play at Texas A&M, and I thought it was very much too run and leg centric of his. I didn't trust him to beat you with the pass, but I'm gonna tell you, yesterday he had some absolute dimes. I mean, he had some absolute dots making throws, and Casey Conception, the Tennessee fans know well. We remember him from NC State, had some catches, and like you said, I might not like the program or the team, but you do something like that, I'm going to respect you, and it's going to make me be like, hey, I got nothing bad to say. For you to come back like that and win, not just come back, but to actually clutch up and win it, that is as impressive as it gets. Yeah. And it kind of leads into, we're not there yet, but fully, but it still leads into my thought process that I've really been saying for the past couple of weeks now, that we are just any given Saturday. We are NFL junior now, because anybody can get beat at any given time, except for, I said it's junior. You're not quite to the NFL, because I feel like a lot of the better teams are still winning in the end. Penn State still was able to clutch up and win it. Texas A&M came back and won. Florida wasn't able to close, or wasn't able to pull the upset. Ole Miss was able to defend them off. And I feel like there was a couple more that I'm forgetting, but like there's South Carolina with Bama, Florida with Georgia. I mean, it's just every week somebody, Auburn basically all year. You know what I mean? And so I think it's entertaining, super entertaining. I think it's going to make for a great playoff. And that tweet that I sent you this week, it was like, Ohio State hasn't really played many of the best foes in the Big Ten. Oregon hasn't played anybody with like a winning record. So I really don't know. But
Yeah.
I mean, what other games do you want to mention? I know you might want to say Florida, but what other games did you watch yesterday that caught your attention?
I mean, I thought it was interesting how close the Michigan Northwestern game was towards the end. I mean, that Michigan team, I just kind of, I don't know. I kind of like to hate on them because of how sought after and like the biggest thing for them was Bryce Underwood in the offseason.
Yeah.
And they're very cocky since the national championship.
Right.
So a little bit of that. What else? I mean, Oklahoma, Alabama was the next big one. But goalish losing was big. South Florida losing to Navy.
And South Florida was favored by at least 4 or 5, I think.
Yeah, exactly. But that Alabama-Oklahoma game was massive. And, you said it when you mentioned it, but watching that game and seeing Oklahoma win, it just made me like more pissed off because I just thought to myself, like, we could have beat both of these teams. We really could have.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to jump you. Go ahead and finish.
No, it's just like, in both games, we really killed ourselves, shot ourselves in the foot, made bad decisions at times. And it's just so frustrating to see how those little things can just change the whole outlook of that game and how those things work. And I can see how we could be sitting here with one loss to Georgia. Like I can see it in my mind.
I could see it to where we have one loss and it's to Bama, and you beat.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's just insane how these things turn out and where you end up. But I mean, I'm very overjoyed that Oklahoma won. 2 very impressive wins for Oklahoma the past 2 weeks in Neyland at night, in Bama at night. But very excited because takes Bama out of SEC championship contention, possibly takes them out of college football playoff contention. And by God, am I rooting for Auburn?
Oh,
I would love to see them get a 3rd loss.
It would be, dude. If Auburn wins that game, it would be. It would almost feel like a Tennessee win.
Yeah.
As much as I don't like Oklahoma, like I got to give them respect. It's kind of like that Texas A&M thing. Like, hey, that's impressive because I did not think you guys had a chance. I did not get to watch the first and second quarter. I watched a decent amount of the third and a good amount of the fourth, but I wasn't able to watch enough to understand the flows of the game. And the reason I bring that up is because when I was laying in bed last night, it said that Alabama outgained Oklahoma 400 yards to like 260. So once again, it must have been where Oklahoma's defense just clutched up and made plays, gave good field position, or like,
they were making plays. They were causing turnovers.
Okay.
Sacks, big time.
Okay. I do think there is something to say too. That's a bad matchup for Bama because Oklahoma's had their number 2 years in a row where it's something that Venables does that does not go well for whatever DeBoer and his team, his staff's trying to do. Like I said, to have a clean sweep of Bama for 2 years in a row on the home and away, but I know when you were saying that it bums you out that you're sitting watching thinking we should have beaten or could have beaten both those teams. I get it that the Joey pick on the goal line is a 14-point swing, but you still have a whole second half. I mean, I like our odds. I think it's going to be a heavyweight fight back and forth against Bama. But I said, for Oklahoma, I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. there's a chance and there's a very much a path where that game gets out of hand quickly for Oklahoma in Neyland, and you go up 14-0, and things are changing drastically. And once again, it wasn't just a strip sack. Dude, house calls it. It's not just picks; they turn into points. So, anyways, It is. But you know what, man, football's like that. I was thinking about that, like in 2022 for Tennessee. I mean, we made the plays against Florida and won. We made those clutch plays against Bama and won. There's just times where your team has those plays kind of go I think if you're a good team, it's pretty rare that you're going to make all of them in a year, but you're probably going to come out. You're still going to come out better than not. But it feels like this year Tennessee has been way on the other end of it. I feel like the only times that Tennessee's really clutched up was against Mississippi State. And then it's like we didn't clutch up against Georgia, definitely didn't do it against Bama, definitely didn't do it against Oklahoma in the bigger games of the year. So it's just it's how the ball bounces sometimes. Okay, do you want to talk about New Mexico State?
Yeah, let's jump into the game.
What were your thoughts?
Obviously going into it, like, hey, let's get a little bit of a bounce back. Not expecting a ton out of the guys, not expecting to really get a lot from it. Maybe like I would have felt differently about the Florida game if it was more of a 70-something-0 kind of game. But there were good things. There were okay things. I mean, I wanted us rushing to be more of a big play kind of threat. I mean, I'm not saying that it was like negative yardage. It was still positive yards. But like I really wanted to see a Bishop like 60-yard touchdown. That's kind of what I was expecting going against that defense. So I just wanted to see more. I really didn't like the fact that, Joey had that interception on a play where he's really not getting that much pressure. Yeah, there's a little bit. And then he just airmails it over the guy. It's not like somebody hit him while he was throwing. I don't like that. I really don't like that. I don't like the look of that. I don't like just throwing that ball up. I feel like when you play the worst teams, when it's the game where you should win, there is a little bit of like laissez-faire. I will try more things. I will do more stuff. But at the same time, there should be pride of like, as a defensive player, I'll be like, we're not going to let them score. As an offensive player, like I'm going to have, as a quarterback, I average 68% completion percentage. I'm going to have over 70 in this game. You know what I mean? It's like those little things where it's like, as an offensive lineman, I'm not going to let up any kind of pressure.
Yeah.
Because this is, your pride a little bit on the line. And so that interception bothered me.
Didn't he have two, though? He had the one where he threw to Miles and it got taken away, which was a horrendous one. And then he had the overthrow.
Yeah, which I'm, hey, like I'm not going to be like, Joey, that's on you. And I'm not going to say it's all the way on Miles. Like it's kind of a really good play by that guy to rip it out of his hands. But that second one, he just overthrows his dude. It goes right into the chest of the safety. So that one, but on the other end, like you saw him pull the ball and run for a 30-yard touchdown, which like outside of this game, if he pulls that ball, he slides. You know what I mean? He runs out of bounds. He doesn't try and keep, like I was almost surprised when I saw him kind of cut upfield and keep going. And it's like, can that improve his confidence in his rushing ability moving forward to make a difference in games? Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah. It's a stat game. I mean, we've been in them. Whether you were in them in college, and if I was in them in high school, where it's like we're going to beat this team. Let's not let them pass the 50, or let's not let them score, or I'm going to try to have the most tackles, or whatever the case may be. Which sounds bad because you're almost like you're having to motivate yourself because the other team's not necessarily motivating you. I mean, from what I've seen, I very much thought that this would be a 60, 50, 60 burger. I was hoping that maybe the most we gave up was 3, and if we gave up a touchdown, so it was 10, that it was maybe off a turnover in a short field. But I watched the key plays last night when I was in bed that YouTube TV gets you. So it's like 25 to 30 plays. And then I've been watching the replay a little bit. I didn't take notes on anything. But I was waiting to see what you said about the run game. And I think you hit it exactly. It would have been really nice to be like, oh, there's 8, there's 10, there's 6, there's 18, and then there's our 68er. That would have been nice. I think Joey maybe just peaked a little early. I know everyone talking about him coming in that he could give the ball to the other team and turn it over, and we're seeing that now. And I think we got so blinded by Syracuse was clean, if I remember correctly, and he was just hitting the deep balls and running the offense efficiently, which is all I want to see. Then you go to Georgia, and you and I we're all of all nations watching this like, oh my goodness, like this is wild. But then ever since then, that Joey, Garantano has started to show up, and I say that because it's been in big moments and big spots. It's not just a turnover here and there. I mean, these weren't necessarily in big spots, but like they were bad. I mean, you sound like you don't really care about the one to Miles. I thought it was horrendous. Dude standing right there and he throws it inside. Like, what are we doing? Just throw it at Miles' feet or throw it to the outside. So,
yeah,
we're not there yet. We got to talk a little bit more about this game. But like, you see Florida compete their butts off, then you see them get blown out, and then you see them compete their butts off again. It's like, I don't know what team we're going to get down there, but clearly they're showing the ability to fight. And if Joey goes down there and gives them 1 or 2, I think Tennessee loses the game. I really do.
I agree.
So, but I mean, other stuff on here, the same stuff, man. It's like Andre Turrentine. He's been in college football forever. He's a 4-star coming out. He lines a guy up on the out. He's got a guy that's busted up off the outside, off tackle. It's him and him. He comes up. He gets there pretty quick. Looks like he lays the lick. Broken tackle. Doesn't wrap up. Doesn't have his head across. It's like, pardon me, but what the are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's just same old stuff. I mean, I saw Jordan Pilati was all over social media, and then I turned the game on, and he's everywhere. I mean, that guy's a heat-seeking missile.
He's flying around like crazy, which I think is like the best thing about him and the worst thing about him. Like he can get out of control. He can cause penalties, but also like get out of control where he's not in the right spot because he's going a million miles an hour.
Right. Which, listen, if you're going to make a mistake,
I'd rather say whoa than sick him.
Right. But I get
whoa than sick him.
Right. But he's young. It's not like there's anyone that he's taking reps away that like hurts the team. So, you know what I mean? I enjoy watching him. It was a great one-handed pick by Ty Redmond.
I thought
Colton,
good.
I thought Colton Hood had some good. He played through the hands well. Andre Turrentine again got super lucky that he came up on an RPO like slant or skinny post, and the guy just drops it because I think that's a house call.
Agreed. I think Turrentine was like going for the pick, standing behind him, and it's like if he catches that, he's gone. There's no one else there to tackle him.
Yep.
But I liked Hood and Redmond, what they did when it came to fighting through blocks, when it came to setting the edge, when they were trying to hit the outside screens, when they were trying to get to the outside edge on runs and everything like that. And I know the competition isn't good, but it's like if you can almost feel how it's supposed to work it gives you a better understanding of doing it more in the future. Like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to extend my arms, extend out, hold my ground, have the guy inside or outside. You know what I mean? And like keep that contained, wait for my buddies to show up. And it seemed like that was technique appropriate during this game. Does that mean they'll do it versus a Florida wide receiver and beat that block and get a tackle versus Ball, their really good running back? I don't know. But at least it's like, well, I see you do it.
Yeah.
I see you do the thing.
I think Jalen McMurray is that guy is so feisty, and I really respect how he plays. Now, he could have had a play. Like I said, I didn't go through this game with a fine-tooth comb. He could have had a couple bad plays that I had missed. But once again, the ones that I see, he plays that energy. He plays with that violence that you need. And he's a little guy. Like, he is lean and thin. When we saw him warming up and he was not in pads yet, I'm like, this guy is about as small as you're going to see on a football field that's playing, not kicker or punter. And then he's even in his pads. He's a lean, mean fighting machine. But I love his energy. I love his passion. I love how he plays. And but it's just like it's the same crap we've seen all years now. They do the quick hitters. They're trying to get us to get off blocks. They're making this team run because we are so aggressive. So it was good to see the connection to Chris Brazzell. Get Staley involved. It still, for me, is very much our offense is what stops us. I mean, we on offense, we only are stopped because of us, not necessarily what someone else is doing. I don't know. I'm intrigued, man. I'm really intrigued by the Florida game. I think that's the best way to put it.
I mean, this is going to mean a lot moving forward, even though there's not as much to play for, right? When it comes to like the playoff structure, it's like there's a lot to play for when it comes to the vibe of Tennessee football, where the program is at, how Heupel is viewed as a head coach, how these players are viewed as potential superstars. Like, I mean, you see a good amount of bad performances from these guys. It might be like, who gives a shit if they transfer kind of feeling to it. Yeah. So it's like, hey, this is a big one.
I don't want to overreact, but I think it's even more. It's in the same vein of what you're talking about, but it's not necessarily like a vibe, and we're gonna end the season with a bad vibe, which you don't want because then that makes the offseason more difficult in terms of rebuilding and relaunching for next year. I think maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe you can tell me like pump the brakes, but like I feel like it's a little bit of a DNA game. Heupel's been here 5 years now, and I still really like him. There's things I want to see, but I think if you go out and lose this game, I think it's kind of like it's like, hey, I don't want to say they're one of the worst teams record-wise. They are, but they're down bad for them, even though they are competing with the likes of Georgia and Ole Miss, which are top 5, top 10 teams. But this is just a game that you can't lose, and I'm worried that like it's going to do some damage. Like I said, not even to vibes or to. I think this is like a DNA culture type thing. So I don't know if you guys
before we completely step into that game.
Yeah.
What did you think about the smoky gray uniforms?
I usually like the smoky grays. Ever since they've brought them out, I've kind of liked them. I mean, these were whatever. I thought they were a little much. I would probably just say, hey, keep it all one shade of gray. But and ultimately, what my opinion does not matter. I mean, ultimately, whatever the players want and the recruits want is fine with me. But I would be totally fine if they put the blacks on the back burner or the grays. Like, I think we just need orange, white, and then one alternate. I think it's a little much, in my opinion.
Okay.
I would probably even say, I'd probably say throw the blacks away and let's just go, with the Smoky Grays, because Smoky Grays at least kind of, the Smoky Mountains, you can kind of tie it into East Tennessee. The Black's just like out of nowhere. I mean, you know what I mean? It was like, it's cool for the night game around Halloween, but anyways, what do you think?
I think the taste is a little worse on the Black ones because of the Oklahoma game. I was okay with these. I mean, fine. It's for a homecoming game, so it does feel like, hey, this isn't for a big one. This is just us having fun out here, kind of thing. And I think their plan was to do like different ones every year for the next like 5 years or something. But that could also change with Adidas and what that whole thing does and all that. But yeah, I mean, I like the different uniforms. I really loved the Smoky Grays when I got a chance to wear them because it does just hype up the guys a lot, makes you feel cool to be out there in it. And but I would love to like integrate like more of our traditional stuff, but with our colors. Like I would love to integrate like an alternate helmet with the UT symbol on it. Like I think that would be so cool.
Facts.
I would love to integrate like the old early 2000s like white jerseys with the orange shoulder pad. Like just something like that. It's like a little callback would be really cool.
I've been saying it for years, and if someone else has said it, I'm sorry. I've never heard anyone else say it. I don't know why, and I do not know how one of these universities has not brought back the 90s uniform where it is cut low. Half these guys roll their shit up anyways, where it's a cut low, where it's a little bit flowy, and it's not so tight, and you got the massive numbers. I think those would go ridiculously hard if Tennessee came out in those, and it was like a 90s vibe as like the throwback. And I just think if any team did that, like it would go really, really hard for one game. And I agree with you. And listen, the Blacks do not have anything to do for me with the taste of Oklahoma. I mean, we've had some good wins on that. You and I went to the blackout game when we whooped up on South Carolina in 23. We won that one year when we dominated Kentucky and Will Levis. So I just like I said, the Black is just kind of out of nowhere for me. And it's just like, I don't even necessarily like the color black. I know you wear it a lot and it goes well with you and you rock it well. I've never been that type, I guess, because I'm just fair skinned in the winter. But I think that would be like, how sick it would be if we had a white helmet with the Vols cursive in orange.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that if we've gone away from the traditionalist because we're doing damn gray and black now, like we can change the helmet. I think some of those things would be awesome.
And it sucks.
Hold on. I like the orange helmet, even though we lost.
I do too. That's what I was going to say. I was like, it sucks that we lost that game and quarterback tore an ACL, but those are cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I want to see him again.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to know who's the deciding factor on these. Like is it the captain and committee that chooses and then someone else designs them or whatever, or is it just strictly up to Adidas and Nike say, hey, we're looking for black or we're looking for gray, and they're like, okay, we'll do it, and then they send you stuff? Nah, I'll do it for free. Just let me do it. Just do exactly what I tell you. I
know. No, there's not a player who really gets to decide. I think it's all just like a coach, the head coach, the program, and the representatives at Nike or at Adidas. Yeah. They're like, what do you guys think? What do we want to try and do?
Yeah, well, that's pretty dumb because these dudes are like in their 40s and 50s. And
yeah, there's a lot of decisions that are made by those guys that are that age it's pretty dumb why we still have them making that decision.
I mean, I've seen a
college football playoff. Sorry.
Who?
College football playoff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of bad. I'm not talking just Tennessee. I've seen a lot of bad uniforms where I felt like they were too overdone, way too overdone, in my opinion. The
Yeah,
Miami,
they
the
tried to add
Miami,
too much.
the Miami camo ones this year. If they'd asked me to wear those, I'm like, I'm just not playing this game. Like this is the
Dude, that's
stupidest.
that, and like I watched the Miami game yesterday. It was like going to it sometimes. The neonness of their orange in the Adidas makes me worried about Tennessee Adidas.
Well,
So I
Ball
repped
Nation.
Adidas in Tennessee. I repped Nike in Tennessee. I remember like it does have this like certain brightness to it in the Adidas ones that it's maybe like not actually matching what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's that little soccer vibe because I mean that's kind of Adidas is I guess where they got started and where they were big is more soccer stuff. But listen, Vol Nation is going to riot if something's up with this color orange. So,
That's true.
all right,
That's true.
click it down. I've kind of already said my biggest talking point to this is that I don't even think it's a whole Gainesville swamp. We haven't beat them there in forever. I think it's just more that team is showing the capability of playing well. I think they could really run it on us if they set their mind to. I know you'd mentioned it a couple weeks back that they got a good running back, and the running backs that I watched last night, I was pretty impressed with. The number one thing is Lagway just will absolutely give you a game away. I mean, last night he threw the one that got tipped, and it ended up getting picked, and that's why Ole Miss went down and scored to take the lead. He'll give you a game. But I've seen
He
Joey,
will also take a game away from you.
yeah, and I've seen Joey give one away. So, you know what I mean? It's basically, Kyler, all I have to say about this game is I just hope it's not the night game. And I don't know if they've announced it yet because I do not want to wait all damn day for this game. But, anyways, what's your thoughts on all of it?
I regret to inform you, Reed, it is a 7:30 kickoff. Oh gosh.
Are you serious? I was about to pick my phone up to see if they announced it yet.
Yeah. I saw somebody tweet it out.
I'm so bad.
I know.
You know what I wish this was? You know what? I wish it was the 12 o'clock. I wish it was the 12 o'clock SEC network or at the latest 3:30. I'm so sick of these night games, bro. And plus, it just gets them a chance to get rowdy and get going down there. I'm pissed.
I know it gives them the best chance to have a good home field advantage.
Yeah.
As a night game.
Yeah.
So, no, it sucks. I hate that. I hate waiting for the whole fucking day to eventually watch.
Same.
And then just not having enough time the next day to rewatch.
Yeah, well, that's true. That is also brutal. Yes.
Yeah, that is very brutal. So I'm with you on this. This runs through the offense. We said it, after the Oklahoma game 2 weeks ago, that even before the Oklahoma game, this is an offensive team, and it depends on what the offense does. Our defense will probably do what they have done most of the year, which is let up a good amount of points, have 2 turnovers on the game, give us some good field position in places, and still, give up 30-odd points, which means our offense needs to take advantage of those turnovers and score when we have the ball, which we can if we don't fuck it up ourselves. The game against Georgia, the game against Ole Miss really shows a different light on this Florida team and who these guys are. I think DJ Lagway can give the game away very easily, but at the same time, it's like get him running the ball. Get him running it with their running back Ball, that number 13. Get him on the move, and he's freaking dangerous. Like nobody wants to see him. He is like big and thick enough too, where like when he runs the ball, it's not like he's vulnerable, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate that for our defense. I think that's going to be something that they can really take advantage of. If I'm Florida, I'm telling DJ like, hey, dude, if nobody's open, run, like take off. Because like maybe a Prelati, I feel good about like coming up and hitting him, but like T-Lander, I feel like would get outrun. Arian would probably take a bad angle, and Edwin would not get his hat across. Like I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like when I think about the middle of the field and DJ having a full head of steam, I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely, if I'm Florida, I'm playing small ball. I'm running the rock. I'm chewing up the clock. I'm gonna have DJ throwing those really quick outs, little quick hit screens, little hitches, kind of the same way that Oklahoma's been playing, keeping the game in front of them. And Florida's defense is fine. We'll score on them as long as we don't do stupid stuff. But offensively is their offense, our defense. I will be very frustrated if I don't see Jordan Pilati or Jaden Harmon and probably Arian or Edwin. I guess all of them I feel pretty comfortable with, except for T-Lander. If we're not in a spy, even if we only rush 3 and that fourth rusher kind of just hangs in the middle of the field to kind of almost trap wherever he goes. Hey, if we force him and he starts to escape left, you better be there. If he kind of is running wild, and what I mean by running wild is he gets 4 yards here, he gets an 8-yarder here, he escapes a sack and gets a gain of a couple. Like that's where I'm going to get really frustrated because you got to make him beat you through the air, and that means stopping his run and the running back. I mean, this is a very juvenile game of they're going to play small ball, and you better make him beat you through the air. So so there is
have to get him throwing.
Yeah, and so there is a little bit of it to me that, like, all right, coaches, all right, Tim Banks, all right, defensive staff, like this is a little bit on you all here, and I'll give them credit. They did pretty well against Oklahoma against the small. I mean, they stopped Oklahoma running the ball. They kind of kept Mateer at bay for the first little bit. So they've shown that they can do it. Let me ask you this. This is kind of related to this game, but not. And this is the last thing I got for you. I kind of feel like I heard people on the radio here saying that Florida team had quit. After they lose to Georgia, after they get blown out by Kentucky at Kentucky, but then you see them last night and they're back again. I think it's a little bit harder for a team to quit because of 2 things. You are constantly being evaluated now because if you were on the field, you're being evaluated to either are you going to get paid more by your team? Is someone going to kind of come pluck you? Or are you playing to keep your spot? I just feel like, if Kyler Kerbyson was a junior at UT and the game's not going or the season's not going his way, that he would like it, and he knows that he's coming back next year because he can't just leave, and he knows that there's not a recruit coming in. He doesn't have to worry about a transfer portal. He knows the guys on the roster. They ain't beating him out at left tackle. So I'm just using you an example. I know you. I know that the last thing you do is ever quit or ever not give everything you have. But I'm just kind of painting this picture that, like, they can kind of mail it in a little bit, like not be as lined in on the details. But I'm starting to think that these kids are now, hey, we might not be winning, but I'm trying to get paid or I'm trying to go to somewhere else that I can win. Especially lower level guys. It's lower level guys, whether that's lower level Division I, like group of 4 or 1AA. Like if those guys aren't, I mean, your ass could be 0-11. If you're not going out there giving everything you got, that says something about you big time because you've got financial and movement ability in this time and age.
Yeah, I think these guys have seen enough dudes go into the transfer portal and not have anything.
That's a great point too.
That they're like, hey, I need something on film, so I know like somebody's going to call me. Somebody's going to pick pick up the phone. I agree with you that is a little bit of extra motivation for them, when it's probably the most difficult for these kinds of teams that know they're not in a winning opportunity is when the game gets out of hand. Kentucky.
Sure.
When the game gets out of hand, them trying to come back is like almost impossible because they're playing hard, but they're playing hard individually and not necessarily together, and not necessarily for each other anymore. Now, if they're in the game, if they're staying close, it's very much like, let's do it. Let's do it. Which is Georgia, which was Ole Miss. But that Kentucky game was like, hey, if you can get them in a bad spot, they will give up. And that's just like top-down leadership. Like, you don't necessarily have it where somebody's like, hey, lock the fuck in. We still got this.
Yeah.
Nobody's in the meeting at halftime or talking to the guys on the sideline like maybe Texas A&M coaches were doing.
Sure.
When they were playing with South Carolina, like, we still got this. We can do this. Do what you've been coached to do, and you're going to be fine. So, if we can pull away, I think that will make a huge difference in this game. Make DJ Lagway press, make him throw the ball more. Would love to see that. But if not, these guys are going to keep fighting. They're not a bunch of 3-stars on the team. Like, they got 5-star dudes. They got 4 stars that are really good. So, I mean, you can't, and especially that we're playing in Gainesville. This is a scary game. It's a scary game.
Yeah. Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, and I think you made great points there. That the way you were talking, it was like, we got a bunch of front runners right now. When the season's over, it's a bunch of front runners. I'm gonna go out and play hard for me, but if we can keep it close, great. Let's try to get this dub. If not, then I'm gonna play hard for myself. But football is the ultimate team game, and so if you just have one or two that aren't pulling their weight, then it can get out of hand quick. But man. You go back to what we did in 2022 where we jumped up on people and the game was over before it even started. And we haven't got, and I'm not saying that he was the first to say it, but he was the first that I heard to say it. And it was painful to have to listen to it, but I was listening to the local sports talk the year that we lost to Georgia in 2022, because I went down there and was with Jack because he's down there at Athens. He works at Athens Country Club in the golf industry. And so I'm down there, and Kirby Smart saying Tennessee is a boxer that knocks you out in the first round. But if you can get them past the first round, you got a really good shot. And I was like, damn, that's true. And I was like, I didn't think about that. And he was like, we were able to withstand and get them in a multi-round fight, and we were able to win. And I think that is still true, and I would hope that we could go back to knocking these dudes out early. And that's kind of that's why I was so bummed about Oklahoma, because I felt like we had their ass on the ropes big time.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a grain of truth in that, where we love to get out to big leads on teams. But I think there's a lot of games in Heupel's era that has shown some fight in the second half.
Absolutely.
Finish.
He's even shown it to where he doesn't have to do that, and he can win games. He can win games ugly.
This is also a big one because I don't think, and it's been a long time, but like winning in the swamp, like what a great opportunity to do that. It's like, we have not won in the swamp in a very, very long time. It's like, here's a team that's down bad, and here we are. We're not the best, but we're still better than them. And hell, there were fucking times where they beat us and they were worse than us.
Yeah. Facts.
So it's like, let's make this Let's make this worth our time.
Yeah. All right, brother, go Vols. It should be a very interesting podcast next week because I think you can go really, really high or really, really low.
That is very, very true. That is very true. Heading into probably one of the biggest in-state rival games that this series has ever seen.
Yeah. Well, we'll worry about that because if we lose to Florida, I'm probably flipping this table and not giving a damn about the Vandy game. Go Vols.
All right. See you, brother. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you are watching, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. If you're just listening, rate, review, download, re-download. Follow us on all those listening platforms. Follow us on social media. Everything is in the description below. Appreciate you guys again. Best fans in the world. It's Florida week in November for all for the craziness that we now have with this schedule, but it is Florida week. Let's take it to them down to the swamp. Let's get a victory. I think we can do this. We just got to play like we're capable of. But again, thank you guys so much. And as always, go Vols.